I have a confession to make that in today's culture sounds almost like a failure. I have never had a dream job. I have never jumped out of bed on a Monday morning, rushing to get to the office or wherever it was to fulfill my passion and live my dream and do something incredible. And for years that made me feel kind of like a failure. I felt that because I had acquired this expensive college degree that I owed it to somebody to go and find a thing that I was super passionate about that hopefully coincided with the degree that I got and start making a heap of money doing it and spend all of my time just living this dream. But after about 20 years in the workforce, I realized something important. Your job doesn't have to be your passion to be a success. It just needs to be a fair trade for your time and energy. And I wrestled with this for a long time. I had this idea in my head that I needed to be this powerful corporate woman who was always climbing and who was just obsessed with the work that she was doing. If I wasn't spending my weekends and my evenings thinking about my job, then I was doing something wrong, I remember watching an interview with a popular talk show host, and the interviewer was asking this person, how did you get into the business? How did you make all this success? And the host was talking about his obsession with getting on Saturday Night Live, which was his first entry into the business. He talked about it like it was a calling, like it was some sort of purpose that he was put on this earth for. And that's going on Saturday Night Live. And he had that kind of feeling about his purpose since he was a child. And he had in his head that it was either this or nothing. So he spent all of his time, all of his energy, finding ways to get onto Saturday Night Live because he wasn't going to accept anything less. And I thought, good for him. But that level of obsession is not normal, and it's not something that the average person needs to worry about trying to achieve. There is more to life than what you do for your job. Your job doesn't have to be your life. And that's okay. That's normal. Over the past couple of decades, I've had a lot of jobs that weren't particularly impressive on paper. They were nothing to really write home about. But I still found things to enjoy about them. Enough that, I could justify trading 8 hours or whatever it was a day in return for some amount of money that allowed me to continue living my life. Usually those things were in the form of coworkers that I enjoyed being around. Or occasionally I'd have a really great boss who was just a great person to work for. I know people like that are far and few between. They do still exist. When I finally did walk away from my last job, it wasn't because I was still searching for a dream job and I hadn't found it yet. It was actually because the little things that I did enjoy about it no longer outweighed the negatives, and I no longer felt like the trade of my time was worth it. So I want to give you permission to come to terms with something radical. It's okay to not be ambitious. It's okay to not have an overwhelming calling or a feeling of purpose when it relates to your job. It's okay to stay lower on the ladder. It's okay to turn down additional responsibilities if it means protecting some of your peace. That nebulous dream position thing that people are chasing doesn't exist for most of us. And that's okay. It's okay to have a job that just funds your life. It's okay to have a life outside of your job. And it doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you haven't succeeded. In fact, it probably means quite the opposite. Take it from me. I've been there. I've done that. Thanks for spending time with me. I'll see you next time.